I'm here with Kameron Toews, team's videographer and a former team midterm missionary. And we're here today to talk about how to create video updates that really engage and invite your supporters into the work that you're doing. Um, Cam, when we started talking about this topic and telling people that we were going to cover it, we got such an overwhelming response from people saying, yes, I need this. I'm a missionary on the field and I've been wondering how to do this. But a lot of missionaries, they know that this could be such a great asset to their ministry. Um, and yet they hold back because they think I don't have the technical skills. I don't know how to begin to figure out what to talk about in a video. And so, what would be your encouragement for a missionary who's just getting started in video ministry updates?
Yeah. Thanks, Bethany. And it's good to be here and good to be able to talk and share some experience and hopefully some wisdom. But yeah, for a missionary just starting out, wanting to get into video, I think the first thing I would say is don't stress about it too much. Just start with something simple. You don't have to create this big Hollywood movie. You're just get your face out to supporters. People want to see you and hear your message. So I'd say don't get overwhelmed at the beginning. Start simple and ask people for help. There's a lot of media people in the churches. If they have a media department, they might be able to help you. If you know a video person that's a friend, that's a believer, they'll probably be willing to help you. So ask around. It's not as intimidating, I think, as it might feel initially. So we'll share some tips and tricks and techniques and thoughts in this interview to hopefully take away some of those fears and make it a little bit more approachable for everyone.
Perfect. We've got some people who are coming on, and for those of you who have just come on, I want to say welcome again. So the topic we're covering today is ministry video updates. So we're all familiar with written newsletters. That's been long a staple of how missionaries have stayed in touch with their supporters. But video is a little bit newer for us. And I was wondering, Cam, if you could give just a little bit of your own background so people know where is this expertise coming from. What's your background with team and with video?
Sure. Yeah, I got a college degree in video production, and I graduated in 2012 with a degree in video production. So after that, I've been in video as a profession ever since. So I've been doing TV commercials, nonprofit work, corporate videos, a little bit of everything in that time. And I love it. I love storytelling, and I love using the video to explain causes to people and to draw people in. So that's just something I love to do. It's been a passion of mine for a long time. My history with team goes back to my wife, because in college, she did a short-term trip with team to Zimbabwe. And that was in college. And then when we got married, we wanted to do a year of missions together, kind of early on in our marriage. And so when we were talking about where we would go, it almost wasn't even a question. She really wanted to go back to Zimbabwe. She had a great experience with team, so we did that with team in 2015. So during that year in Zimbabwe with team, my role was to do video work at Karonda Mission Hospital in Zimbabwe. So we did support videos for the missionaries there, fundraising videos for some of the community needs, and things like that. And then after that, a few years back in the States, I signed on as the staff videographer with team. And so I helped put together marketing videos, promotion videos, some internal training projects and things like that. So so a few years with team, and it's been really great. I love the work that they're doing, and it's awesome to be able to be a part of telling that story through video.
That's great. And we love having you here to tell these stories. So yeah, you have both that like professional experience, but also that on the field, I've gotta, make these updates to bring in my supporters. It's, I'm sure, very different doing it on a level of someone's paying me 40 hours a week to make this update versus I'm doing my job on the field and now I've got, whatever spare time in the evening to pull this together.
Yeah, yeah.
But also I think you would say like the investment of time is worth it. So what kind of is the impact or the power of video, whether it's for somebody who's on the field or somebody who's raising support? How can God use that uniquely?
Yeah, well, I think video is unique in that it grabs your attention right away. If you can present some interesting visuals or interesting information in the first few seconds, you can grab someone's attention and draw them in. You're able to tell a story from beginning, middle to end. And people love stories. We're drawn to stories. They keep us hanging and interested. And video is a great way to do that. For us personally, we use video in two main ways, as an update to our supporters, and we also used it to help us fundraise. And so I think video was crucial in both of those, to communicating to supporters and actually initially grabbing the supporters. And I think video is really cool in that, like you said earlier, Bethany, a lot of missionaries are familiar with the newsletter format. You type up your update, you maybe throw in a few pictures, and that's just kind of the way traditionally you communicate with supporters. And I think that is extremely important, and we put out a newsletter regularly also. But we also included video updates about once a month for us. And in those updates, my wife and I sat in front of the camera and we talked. And so people could see our face, they could see our expression. We were in our home in Zimbabwe, so people could see the background. They could see like our kitchen, our living room, what our garden looked like, different things. So video kind of draws people into your life and lets you see what mission life is like for you specifically. And so those updates were super important for us. And I think it was fun. We were able to, throughout the month, we were a little bit mindful to go film different things around. So we could film what our hospital, like what the hospital looked like where my wife worked, film kind of some friends and just get that interaction. People are interested in that.
Yeah.
Things that you might feel are mundane to you after you've been there a while. People living in the US, Canada, anywhere that are supporting you, they don't know what life is like. So even if you show them what your grocery store looks like, how do you shop for food? If you have a commute to work, what does that look like? Who are some of your friends? What does church look like? All these things are extremely interesting to show through video. And so that was really cool for us. And I'd say partner that with a newsletter. If you're continuing to do your newsletter and then a video, also you could embed that video in the newsletter, post that video on social media, but an excellent way. And then also we use video for support raising. And a lot of the same principles apply, I think, to support raising with video, in that it allows you to, if you make a video, a 3-minute video that is telling people your heart as to why you feel God is calling you to this specific mission field, what your ministry will be, people can see that energy in your voice, which is hard to convey through pictures and a written letter. So video is super unique in that, and I think it's great. And you have the chance to really polish your story. You can polish down a 3-minute video so it's specifically what you want it to say, and it's a concise message, which is really cool. and can tell your story. And if you have been to this ministry area in the past, like my wife had already been there in the summer for college, and so we had some pictures that we were able to put into our support raising video for our midterm trip, which let people see my wife in the field where we were going. It just brought it together. And it, like I said, just helps people connect to you, and they can hear your voice, see your excitement. And people are on YouTube a lot. It's the second you got Google searches, and then you got YouTube searches. So people are there, people are watching. So why not utilize that in your ministry? Yeah.
Yeah. As you're talking about just making those, you're really making a human connection. And I think there are a lot of people who are great writers, like they know how to make their voice come across, and they know how to write with that emotion. But a lot of us, it's a little bit more of a struggle. A lot of us struggle to make it, okay, how do I make it sound like me? And so, yeah, video just takes that issue away, because it is just you talking. And I love what you said about going to see the people who are in your community, who you're serving with, who you're befriending. Because again, we hear these stories in missionary newsletters, but how neat, if you've been praying for someone, or you've been hearing about someone, to then be able to put a face or even a voice to that. I mean, I can't see how that wouldn't help your supporters connect even more.
Exactly. Yeah. I think people invest in things that they know and they understand, and people can't understand your ministry if they don't know about it, and they're not going to feel connected to it if they don't know about it. So being able to present that personable feeling is just going to help those supporters want to be more involved with your ministry, and can give them better prayer requests. And and it's, for me, it's fun. I love doing video. Obviously, that's what I do 40 hours a week. But it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. You can get creative with it, and that it's a great resource, I think, for missionaries.
Yeah. So what would be your recommendation as far as how often should missionaries send out videos, and how long? I think, we've got some of us have seen like kind of the long rambling missions updates, where it's like, okay, well, this was engaging for the first 5 minutes, and now I'm watching it out of an obligation, and no one wants their supporters to be there. Yeah. What's that sweet spot of a time frame?
Yeah. I'd say under 4 minutes typically is where you'd want to go if you're doing a full update. But there's so many different ways to do video updates. So just saying this is the time, I don't think that it's more nuanced than that, because you can do a lot of great things with social media. Just doing a quick video that you post on your Instagram or Facebook or whatever as you're driving to work. Don't post while you're driving to work. Record while you're driving to work while someone is driving you. But just, utilize social media for those casual updates of, hey, I'm at the grocery store. Look at this super weird fruit I've never seen before. And here's an update that helps people connect to you. They can respond with a quick comment. Oh, that's really cool. What is it? I'd love to try it. Something like that. I'd say utilize social media for video, just quick things. If you're not a big social media person, that's fine. Consider doing like a more polished, more of a newsletter update, maybe every other month or something. Keep it 3 to 4 minutes, and have a general idea of what you want to say, so that you're not kind of rambling, as you mentioned, and you're just talking and talking and talking, and then it gets to be a 15-minute video that you might have to go back and edit out, or you just post 15 minutes, and that's hard for someone to sit and want to watch. So I'd say just think about different ways that you can post, different platforms. If you're going to send it out with your newsletter, yeah, keep it 3 to 4 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. But people, I think, just want to hear your voice and see your face, um, along with maybe reading that newsletter. So
Yeah.
another really cool thing that I've seen a missionary do is just a quick, super casual, like 2 minute COVID update is what he's been doing the last few months. So he just I think he just sets his phone down on the table in his kitchen, and he's like, all right, in 2 minutes or less, I'm going to tell you the COVID update in my city. And he goes for 2 minutes. He talks about numbers, what his life is like, what his ministry is like, and he's out. And in and out, he'll put that in an email or newsletter, put it on social media. And it's quick and it's easy and it's engaging. So just simple things like that. I mean, you can post those as often as you want. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great way to get in. Shorter updates can be great for getting in lots of information if you post them frequently. Because I think one of the hard things, and this is true both in video and in the traditional newsletter, if you're waiting longer between your updates, then it's going to be that much harder to figure out, oh, how do I condense all this down? I can't leave out this or that or the other. So that frequent communication is great for your supporters, but it's also great for you because it's going to save you a lot of trouble.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned like knowing what you're going to say. So should people write a script, bullet points? Like, how do you do that and still sound like a real person?
Yeah, so you're not a robot just reading a script.
Yes.
Right. Well, I've seen people like write a script and tape it underneath the camera or above the camera, but you always see their eyes kind of dart to the side, and it's a little bit distracting in my opinion. So my recommendation is don't script it out, unless the caveat to that might be if you're doing your initial fundraising video that is going to go out everywhere, that you might need to script a little bit more, put a little more time into it, or a little bit more thought. But I'd say for your if you end up doing a monthly update, don't script it out. Just let your heart come through. Definitely have bullet points thought through. Think through what you want to say, so that you have a flow to the video and it's not rambling and you're not hitting a bunch of tangents. But that's another cool thing with video. If you realize, man, I've been talking about point one for 5 minutes and I have 3 more points, hit stop on your camera and start over, and you can, do as many takes as you need. So yeah, I'd say don't script it out, but make sure you know what you want to say before you hit record.
Mm.
Yeah.
On that note, like, are there any other kind of dangers to be aware of with video, or common mistakes that missionaries make in their updates?
Yeah. Well, I think we've already mentioned length. Don't go too long. People have a short attention span. Even if it's your mother who loves you more than anything, she might not want to watch you sit and talk about something for 20 minutes. So just keep it short. Just keep it condensed, concise. People they do want to hear from you, and there is genuine interest there. And also say, be aware of how you're representing the culture that you're in. Make sure you're not showing it better or worse than it actually is.
Sure.
Be honest with it. Video can be used to twist things, as we all have known and seen. And so just be careful with that. Be careful if you're going to be showing, we had mentioned earlier, using one of your friends. If you make a friend in your local culture, maybe do a video with them, but get their, talk with them about it first, make sure they're okay with that.
Yeah.
If you're showing kids, be careful with that. So just be cautious of how you represent the culture that you're in and your friends, and the friendships that you've created.
Mm. Yeah. And we have a question that Ellen just posted. She says, what about security for those to whom you're ministering? Which is, yeah, a huge concern.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes back to maybe your ministry area is in a sensitive spot, a sensitive zone, then you need to, maybe video isn't even an option for you, right? Like if you can't share what city you're in, if you can't share your ministry, then yeah, you need to step back and be really cautious of how you present that. And to those that you are ministering to, don't exploit them. They're not there for you to take awesome photos and videos of and then post them around. You're there to minister to them and to love them. So yeah, be very careful of how you are presenting those that you're ministering to. And if security is a concern, err on the side of caution. It's not worth endangering your ministry, your life, or someone else's just to present a ministry. So yeah, it's a good point, and be cautious about it.
Yeah, definitely, making that there's a vulnerability to video that's not in a newsletter necessarily. And that can be a great thing in helping people connect with you, but also you've got to take that flip side to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about you and I have gone on trips with team to cover stories on the field. And one of the things I find is when you ask people to share their stories, a lot of people really are excited to do that. So many people, like, they want to be heard. They have something that is worth sharing. What God is doing in their life is a beautiful thing. And so I think, yeah, sometimes people think, well, I've got to just like sneak this story to my supporters. I can't tell anyone that I'm sharing it. And what they don't realize is you could be blessing someone by giving them that chance to share their story, especially with the people who sent you over there to befriend that person and for God to work through. So yeah, like, missionaries can miss out on that when they're just worried about sneaking around. Yeah. So we wanted to get into the technical aspect of things, because I think, storytelling is something that, yeah, okay, like, people see that as a little bit of an issue, but when you talk video, the big thing people think is, I don't know the first thing about, like, how to put this together, don't have fancy equipment, I'm on a missionary's budget, so I certainly don't have money to go out and buy something.
Yep.
So what are some simple pieces of equipment that any missionary could use to make a video?
Well, there's my son. Everyone's got a phone, unless you're like, I don't know, still on your flip phone. 99% of people got a smartphone, they have a camera, and it works just fine. The thing about getting into the technical things is, don't sweat about it. People care about your story, and they care about you more than they care about if you are shooting on a $10,000 camera and everything is lit perfectly and you look super great. No, they want to hear your story, and they want to see your ministry, and they want to hear your heart. That's what people are watching for. So yeah, just out of the gate, don't stress about it too much. But yeah, I would say use your phone. Start with your phone. Start with a laptop or a camera, webcam. I mean, those will work. Those will work great. Great way to film yourself, to do actually talking, and then you've probably got your phone in your pocket all day. Just maybe be a little bit more aware of, hey, if I want to do a video update this month, I need to be taking some short video clips throughout my day. So just remember, I got my phone in my pocket. I'm at church today. If maybe from the back, so you don't see many people's faces, just do a sweep of your church or something like that. So I'd say start with your phone. That's super easy. You can buy as many gadgets as you want. You can get little cell phone clips that are on a little tripod so that you're not holding it up or you're not stacking 20 books to get the angle just right. So there's little tricks like that. And I'd say just a quick tip, if you're filming on a phone, make sure that you don't want to be too far away from the microphone. Whatever your microphone source is, don't be too far away from it. Try to film in a relatively quiet place. I like outside. I like filming outside just because the light is usually better. You have an interesting background, typically, rather than just a blank wall or your couch, which sometimes that's fine because people can see what your home looks like. But you can get outside, but just be aware, am I by a busy road? Is the neighbor mowing the lawn? Things like that. Again, if you want to invest $20, you can get a microphone for your phone. Go on Amazon, give it a Google search for your phone, lav mic, you can find something. It'll just clip on your shirt and give you better sound. So another quick little option you can do for that. And then I guess also equipment. You don't need to buy equipment, but think about the lighting. Think about the lights. You want your face to be brighter than the background. Typically don't have something super bright behind you so that your face will go dark. But you can also on your phone set manual brightness and focus so that it's not switching back and forth and trying to grab focus on something back there, and then it gets bright and dark and bright and dark. So you, like, long hold on your phone on your face, and that should manually set some of that. So I guess in a nutshell, that's some of the quick gear that you would need. You can always upgrade to a little bit better camera. There's a million out there, depending on from every price range, that you can again get a little tripod and hold it out in front of you. A lot of them have a flip screen, so you flip the screen around so you can actually see yourself. And just search for vlog cameras, VLOG, which is a video vlog, best vlogging cameras, and you'll get some from, I'm sure, a few $100s up to a few thousand. So you can start small, start with your phone, and then if you feel like video is something that you're interested in and that your supporters are engaging with, you can always upgrade.
Yeah. And certainly if you're finding that they're engaging in that, you think about a few $100 investment. That could very much be worth it over a lifetime of ministry.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Melissa has asked if there are any suggested apps for using your phone, and a few people have put in suggestions, but I wondered if you had any yourself.
Yeah. Suggested apps for, I know there's apps you can get. I don't know if they're free or you have to purchase, but they give you more flexibility with your camera. Like I said, to adjust exposure and focus and things like that. So I think at least with the iPhone, you can do that with the built-in camera app. But if you might want to also research, I think there's some out there that have a little bit more flexibility. You can adjust the color balance and things to make sure things aren't looking too yellow or too blue. And then, there's, someone said Animoto, Power Director. So actually editing on your phone, I know Adobe has a nice app, but you're gonna have to pay for that a few bucks each month. But that's called Adobe Rush, and that's a quick little editor on your phone that links to the cloud. So if you take footage on your phone, you want to start editing, that's fine. You edit a little bit on your phone, you jump to your laptop, everything is synced, and then you can edit a little bit more on your laptop. But again, that's going to probably be $10+ a month if you want that app.
Sure.
So, and I'm sure there's other free ones out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you do want to jump into, I don't know if we want to talk about editing software, like actually on your computer.
Absolutely, yeah, because that's a big thing. And yeah, actually, we just got a question. How do you piece together the clips? So, yeah.
Yep. Um, the best thing that I found is to use a program on your computer. Doesn't matter, Mac or Windows typically, but you just have a little more flexibility, more room, and things a little easier if you work on your laptop. But yeah, if you grab stuff from your phone, either just plug it in through the USB into your computer, copy the footage over. If you're working on Apple products, just use AirDrop, dump it all over, super quick and easy. And then, yeah, jumping into editing programs, there's a million out there. If you are on an Apple device, go ahead and use iMovie. That's got pretty much everything a beginner will need. You can put layers of clips, so you can do your video on one layer. You can add pictures to the next layer, or other footage that you've recorded on top of you while you're talking. So iMovie is great for Mac users. And then there's a bunch of different free ones out there. Some are simple. Something like Shotcut is one option. And we'll have links for these either in the comments later, but we'll make sure that we have some links so that you actually know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Shotcut is one option. I think just for more of a simple, I need to edit something, that could work. Some other great options, which you're getting into the almost consumer professional level that are still free, would be HitFilm Express and DaVinci Resolve. HitFilm Express and DaVinci Resolve are programs that should cost hundreds of dollars, but they're free, and will have a little bit bigger learning curve to them. So that would take a little bit more time investment, maybe watching some YouTube tutorials, but you'll have a lot more flexibility to do what you want to do. So again, depends on how much you want to jump in to video. If it's something that's simple, go with a simple free program. You are going to have to learn a little bit of editing, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. And again, if you have a media department at your home church, or if you have a cousin or a neighbor or a friend who is technical and likes video and is interested in your ministry, I am sure that they would be excited to help you. I've helped a lot of missionaries that I love with video just because I love what they're doing. And there's people out there that will see that as a way for them to be involved in your ministry and as a supporter. If they're not giving, they can help with that. So ask around also.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have any advice as far as when you're getting into one of these editing programs and you haven't done this before? Are there any tips? I'm sure as a professional videographer, you're very aware of like how things are cut and what works and what doesn't. And for most of us, we may know that something's not working, but we can't necessarily say why. Do you have any tips on just, how figuring out not just the technical, how to piece things together, but what makes a good flow?
Yeah, I think just think of it like a story. Maybe have a good beginning, have something interesting, a good hook at the beginning, something to grab someone's attention. So whether it's you jump right into the middle of, hey guys, thanks for watching this first update. I have this really cool update about Billy, who I talked to you about last week. Something super important has happened in his life, and I was able to be a part of it. Let me tell you about it. And then so they're like, oh, okay, I remember this guy. So start with something interesting. Then you can go back and just create a flow of the story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And yeah, I mean, if something isn't really working creatively or technically, that could be a million different things. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have probably just a layer of everything in the timeline is just it's a sequence.
Mhm.
So you're going to have your bottom layer of video, and then you can just layer things on top. What's on top is going to show. So you can piece together you talking with someone else talking, and while they're talking, you can put something else visually, so they're not just seeing you. That's called a talking head. People don't just love to watch talking heads too long. So mix it up. Try different things. Try putting pictures and video in different places and seeing how it fits. Utilize music. I was just on YouTube the other day, and I saw that you can download royalty-free music from YouTube now. So um, create a YouTube account, and you have a bunch of music. Because that is something you want to be aware of is don't pull music from anywhere. It's music is copywritten. Pictures on Google are copywritten, so I would say stay away from Google imaging something typically, and then just pulling that into your video. There's free ways to get pictures, like Unsplash has a lot of great pictures that you can use. Canva is a great way to create graphics. So yeah, a lot of different things there.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of options to dig into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've covered kind of the storytelling and the technical. Do you have any other tips or ideas that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I'd say if you are doing an update where you are actually on camera, be sure to smile. Just try to relax and feel like you're having a conversation with someone. I know it can be intimidating at first, and the more you do it, the more you'll just it'll be natural to look into a little circle camera for a while, sharing your innermost secrets and feelings. But yeah, just smile, relax, have fun. Be sure you film horizontally. People's screens are horizontal unless you're doing like something specific for Instagram. Be sure you film horizontal. Let's see. I was also going to talk about. I wanted to circle back to a little more tips on maybe doing a fundraising video.
Yeah.
Initially, I'd say video is great to do that initial fundraising push. You've just become appointed to your ministry area, and you need to raise your money so that you can get there. And video for my wife and I, when we did our midterm trip to Zimbabwe, video was crucial for that. So we put together maybe a 3 or 4 minute video. We had an outline of what we wanted to talk about, and we spent a lot of time working on that because we knew that if we could polish our story in a video and make it just the way we wanted it, that time and energy into that resource is going to help us for the next however many months or even years, a lot of times, as you're fundraising.
Yeah.
You can send that video to multiple churches. You can even create custom videos for that church and say, hey, Rimrock Church, at the beginning or the end, and then just do that a few different times, cut it in, have different videos, personalize it. And I think a lot of people also, when you are doing a fundraising video, just like you would be doing a fundraising letter, make sure you have a clear ask at the end, a financial ask. Don't be shy about it. People know that you're going to need financial resources to do your ministry. So be confident and present a clear ask at the end. So video is a great way to do that. And people can see the energy that you'll bring to your ministry as you do that. Let's see. I think maybe I think that was kind of all the things that I had. Any other tips? Just have fun. Yeah. Don't get overwhelmed with it. It's another tool in your toolbox to help share what God's doing through you and through your ministry.
Yeah. So I wanted to take just a few minutes if people have more questions. Harmony asked about something that we mentioned earlier, but she says, what if we have supporters who don't have social media or aren't tech savvy? Do you supplement with newsletters? So you had mentioned, yes, you do. But I do think that there is that question of, oh, if you're doing like these fun little updates on social media, and maybe you have supporters who are not on social media at all, they're just missing that.
Yeah.
So what is your advice around that?
Yeah, that's a good point. If your supporters aren't on social media, they might miss out on some of those. So be sure to include some of those videos in your newsletter. Yeah, like Harmony asked, do you supplement with newsletters? Yes, maybe embed maybe some of your more polished videos. Maybe you don't need to do all of your Instagram stories into an email newsletter. But yeah, I'd say embed some in there so that they can still feel that video presence and connect with you in a written word, with pictures, and with that video. So yeah, be aware of who your supporters are. If your supporters aren't on social media, then that doesn't need to be a main point of connection with them. If they're on email, maybe you want to send out a few more emails than normal with, hey, here's some of the videos I've put out on Facebook or YouTube lately. Take a look, and you add some links to them so that it's easy for those people to click a link and see it on Facebook, see it on YouTube, instead of missing it completely.
Yeah. And a lot of people who are not on Facebook, they do have a Facebook account that they can use to log in to see those, but YouTube is also a great channel for, you don't have to have an account to watch a YouTube video. So for example, with this, we're sharing it on Facebook and on YouTube. We're streaming both places. Yeah. So people will be able to see it if they're on our Facebook page, but we can also share it with other people via email. And so, yeah, there's so many resources available to people right now.
Yeah, there definitely is. And you kind of want to make sure that everyone's getting, you're giving time to everyone. Different ages and different demographics are on different platforms, are on different social medias, or that's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or nothing, or I don't even have email. I just saw Melissa was wondering, what if someone doesn't, if you don't have an email for someone and you're just writing snail mail, yeah, then video is not going to be a part of that communication with them. But maybe you can set up a Zoom call if they're into that, if they can get some help figuring that out. Just a way to connect with them in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so much of communication is about knowing your supporters. You want them to know you, but you've also got to do the work to know how are they going to connect with you. And sometimes that takes just having a conversation to say, all right, I'm doing these things and I'm doing these things and I'm not sure what's resonating.
Yep.
Let's talk.
Yep.
And that can be a little bit scary, but so worth it to find.
Oh yeah. Because you want to be, your supporters are there with you. They're a part of the ministry just as much as you are. You're the boots on the ground, but they are invested in the work that you're doing there. And so being able to share those encouragements and share those prayer requests with them, it's invaluable. And so find out where they're at so that you can connect with them.
Yeah. Well, so we're coming to the end of our time, but I just wanted to note for all of our team missionaries, you have CAM as a resource, so feel free to reach out to the marketing department at marketing@team.org. We are happy to help you with videos, with newsletters. We're here to guide you and give you the resources that you need so that you can have that good communication with your supporters. And I also want to let you know that we'll be here again next month. We'll be interviewing Roni Rega from Team's Member Care about what to expect in your first year. So make sure to share that with any aspiring missionaries you know, anyone who's getting ready to go to the field, or if you're an aspiring missionary yourself, we'd love to see you there. Cam, thank you so much for coming here and sharing your expertise.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to find it helpful. We'll be reposting this later on so that if you missed it live, you can come back and watch it and take whatever notes that you need to take. So,
yeah. And I think if you post a comment after this is over and you're watching it, we can see it and still respond, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have any more questions that come up later, post it in the comments below, and we will try to reach out to you and help you out with that.
Yep. And we'll also be sharing all the resources that Cam mentioned. We'll share links in the comments, so you'll have access to those as well.
Cool.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for coming, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.